Convention to order. President Kushmarek, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Gladly, Mr. Mayor. Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilor Boschman.
Present.
Councilor Clark.
Here.
Ms. Cragan.
Here.
Councilor Di Natale.
Here.
Mayor Di Natale.
Here.
Councilor Donnelly.
Here.
Councilor Fleming.
Here.
Councilor Green.
Here.
Councilor Caddy.
Here.
President Kushmarek.
Present.
Councilor LaBelle Pierce.
Here.
Councilor LaBelle Pierce.
Uh,
Ms.
school
LaBelle
committee
Pierce,
member.
excuse me. Ms. Reynolds. Councilor Squalia.
Present.
Mr. Stevens.
Here.
Councilor Walsh.
Here.
Councilor Zarella.
I will now read the warrant for the joint convention. Warrant for joint convention of the City Council and the School Committee. City Council and School Committee will meet in joint convention Tuesday, March 6th, 2018 at 6 p.m. Memorial Middle School Library, 615 Rollstone Street, Fitchburg. The following matter is on the agenda: to appoint 2 members of the Fitchburg School Committee to fill the vacancies created by resignations for terms to expire January 2020. I trust you've all reviewed the proposed rules for the convention. May I have a motion to accept the rules?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please read the names of the candidates and conduct the lottery to determine the order of their presentations.
The names of the candidates are Aidan Horgan, Kimatra Maxwell, James Walsh, and Mary Jensen Walsh.
We will now have the candidates, well, they have to select, correct, their order. Thank you.
Number, please.
Councilors and school committee members, I believe Councilor Walsh has a statement to present to the body.
Yes, at this time, Mr. Mayor, I would like to recuse myself due to a conflict of interest since I'm familiar with someone who
Thank you.
Gently put.
You want to begin that now? Bennett? Yeah.
You should announce who's first, second.
Okay. The order of the candidates and their speaking: Mary Jensen Walsh first, second Aidan Horgan, third James Walsh, and fourth Kimatra Maxwell. Ms. Walsh, please.
Good evening, school committee and counselor. I'm Mary Jensen Walsh. I reside at 69 Lawton Avenue here in Fitchburg. I moved to Fitchburg 2 years ago from San Francisco Bay Area in California. Even in California, my husband and I worked full-time, but we raised 2 kids and we were very involved in their education and extracurricular activities. I was the original coordinator for Box Tops of Education in San Mateo County, and I also successfully held an event called I'm Going to College, which included kids from kindergarten to 8th grade and their parents. We had college representatives and financial advisors come to the school and have a presentation so kids knew that, yes, even though I'm in kindergarten, there's potential I can go to college. I also was a room mother and a member of the PTA throughout my boys' primary and secondary education years. I believe one of my biggest strengths is fundraising. I have successfully raised funds and donations for schools and traveling sports teams. Most recently, I helped start a fundraising drive for the displaced students at Crocker School. We received multiple monetary and supplies donated not only within the community, but throughout the United States. I want to focus on student achievement and implementing policies that will ensure success for all students and prepare them for the world that they will face in the future. I think the trade school avenue needs to be reviewed. Not every child is cut out to go to college, and there will always be a need for trained tradesmen. The emotional and social needs of the students are immense. I have heard concerns over the process and the time it takes for a child to get into special education. I would like to see if there was a way to streamline the process. My last year here in Fitchburg, I've personally seen what parents need to go through for their special needs children to get the accommodations they need. I believe that we can improve this process so the children don't get lost in the system. I believe I will be responsible to the educational needs of our students, have willingness to collaborate with the other board members, and a sincere interest in public education in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walsh. Mr. Horgan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aiden Horgan. Over the past few weeks, I've spoken to many teachers, students, and parents, along with many school administrators and principals, and many of you here today. I've learned so much about this incredible school district, about some of the challenges it faces, and its phenomenal accomplishments and progress. This school committee has done a remarkable job in regards to proactively preparing our students for success. This district and education in general has evolved at an exponential rate. There has been so much change so fast. It's imperative today to maintain a shared vision of what success demands of our students. My vision is one this committee has long held, one that includes every child and every need they might have, whether those needs are confined to the classroom or go home with them after the last bell. One that embodies the stated mission of preparing our students to effectively participate in today's democratic society. To succeed in this mission today, students are going to need applicable skills, knowledge, and hands-on experience. This district has developed a curriculum that readies our students for the real world with examples like the Footsteps to Brilliance initiative, the STEM Academy at the high school, and giving every student there a Chromebook. The coding classes being taught to 3rd and 4th graders at South Street Elementary School. Success stories like these and many others wouldn't have been possible and won't be able to continue without this committee embracing the potential that technology brings to modern day education, and I intend to do just that. I would also like to applaud this committee for developing a character curriculum, one that teaches virtues like compassion and mindfulness, things you can't learn from books or computers. We've made great strides in this so far as well, with Crocker School being named Massachusetts Commendation School and setting a statewide example for social and emotional practices. I want to continue to develop and broaden and strengthen our current curriculum for social and emotional learning. When I think of what happened in Parkland, Florida, or the recreational weed that's going to be brought into our city very soon, or even the anxiety-producing social media culture we see becoming more prevalent and harmful, I can think of no better solution than to continue to show our students how their emotions work and how their social environment affects their choices, thus giving them the mental tools to navigate the vast and growing spectrum of challenges they face every day. As a student in public high school myself just a short 4 years ago, I believe in public school. And I believe I can bring a unique and applicable insight to this committee in regards to what the 21st century actually demands of students. Every decision I make on this committee will start with asking, how will this benefit the students? It will take an enthusiastic attitude, a lot of teamwork, and a restless spirit of innovation to keep this momentum going. If you share my future-oriented vision of success, then I ask for your support and your vote today. President Kuchmarek, Mayor DiNatale, members of the City Council, and School Committee, thank you all for your time.
Mr. Walsh.
Good evening. My name is Jim Walsh. Thank you, members of the school committee and the city council, for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I was born and raised in Fitchburg, and except for 12 years due to education and employment, my wife Beth and I have called Fitchburg our home. In 2006, I was elected president of the Friends of the Fitchburg Public Library and held that position for 6 years. This was during a time when the library's budget was cut 66%. The Friends increased the funds that they provide annually to the library so that the library could continue to purchase materials. The Friends continue to provide this support today. When Footsteps to Brilliance was introduced by the Fitchburg Public Schools, the library served as a resource to help families register and show how to access the program. The library and the Friends received a grant to provide transportation for the elementary school children to come to the library to get library cards. I believe that there can be cooperative programs in the future between the library and the schools that will benefit all involved. In 2011, I was appointed to serve on the Library Board of Trustees and was elected chair in 2017. I was appointed to a 3-year term on the Fitchburg Cultural Council from 2013 to 2016. In 2015, the Fitchburg Cultural Council was selected Council of the Year by the Massachusetts Cultural Council. This designation was a significant honor for the council and the city and was the result of the entire council working together to promote the arts in Fitchburg. These activities show my commitment to the city and my abilities to work in a group setting and as a successful leader. In my professional career, I've been a college and university librarian and currently a sales specialist selling historical digital collections to college and university libraries. I've held various managerial positions during my career, and I've worked independently and on committees. One of the most valuable things that I have learned throughout my career is the importance of listening, and I believe that this and my experience has prepared me for the school committee. I believe that the quality of our schools impacts every resident of Fitchburg. Good things are happening in the Fitchburg Public Schools because we have dedicated students, paraprofessionals, teachers, and administrators. I want to be a member of the school committee that makes our schools even better, that identifies issues and presents solutions, that promotes and publicizes the successes and achievements of our students and teachers, that provides the best education possible for our students and prepares them for college and beyond. I will do my very best to support and improve our schools. I hope that you will consider me to fill one of the vacancies on the Fitchburg School Committee. Thank you once again for your time and consideration.
Ms. Maxwell, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be in front of you this evening. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Thank you, school committee members. And the reason I'm excited is because about 6 years ago, and this month is my husband and I anniversary in Fitchburg, we moved to this wonderful city. And it was around this time I took a walk down Main Street to the City Council, to Main Street, the city office on Main Street, and was looking for ways to get involved and was looking for ways to serve. And I saw the posting for the school recording secretary. And I just wanted to know more about Fitchburg. I wanted to serve. And I applied and sat right there as the school recording secretary for about 3 years. And I learned so much about the challenges. I learned so much about the strength of our schools, of the individuals who were serving. I learned so much about the families and the students. My second job was a social worker within the school district, which I did for about 5 years. And that gave me the other perspective of working with families within our school district, families facing poverty, homelessness, domestic violence, substance abuse issues. And now I had the opportunity to combine the knowledge of the school committee and the advocacy and the work and the concerns of the teachers and everyone. And I had that opportunity to combine that with working with families now. So now I sat at the table and we were able to work on IEPs, on safety plans for children with emotional disturbances. What was profound, that it didn't matter economic backgrounds, that so many families within this district were struggling with, was my child learning, and how could I work with the school to ensure that I was able to bridge those communication because I knew of how much the school district was trying and the things that they were doing and accomplishments and the services that existed. And that's what I bring to the table in terms of those two areas that I've served in, that I seeked after, love passionately, and a voice of advocacy that I add to the table in working with children with emotional disturbances, and we're working with families who are impacted by various concerns that each and every one of us may be aware of that affects even our individual families. I saw a post on Facebook most recently with everything we have going on, and it talked about what do we arm our teachers with in that discussion. And the post basically said what we need to arm our teachers with are more counselors, more nurses, more social workers. So I ask you today, putting all differences aside and relationships and friendships, and just, why don't we just serve the kids? That's it. Make a decision to serve the families that we are here to serve. Thank you so much for your time.
First of all, let me just say thank you to the candidates. It's always much appreciated by the community that we have people that will come forward to give back to that community, to make it better for all of us. We will now vote to elect the first school committee seat. Voting is by roll call, beginning with the member who led the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. After the clerk calls your name, please state the name of the candidate for whom you are voting. Madam Clerk.
President Kushmerek,
Mr. Walsh.
Ms. LaBelle Pierce,
Kamatra Maxwell.
Ms. Reynolds is absent. Counselor Squalia,
Kamatra Maxwell.
Mr. Stevens,
Mr. Walsh.
Counselor Walsh is recused. Counselor Zarella,
James Walsh.
Counselor Boschman,
Mary Jensen Walsh.
Counselor Clark.
Walsh?
Which one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Male.
James
Male?
Walsh?
James? Feels like Jeopardy.
Ms. Cragen,
Mr. Walsh.
Counselor Di Natale,
James Walsh.
Mayor Di Natale,
James Walsh.
Counselor Donley,
James Walsh.
Counselor Fleming,
James Walsh.
Counselor Green,
Mary Walsh.
Counselor Caddy,
James Walsh.
Mr. James Walsh wins the first seat with 10 votes.
Yes.
We will now vote to elect the second school committee seat. As before, after the clerk calls your name, please state the name of the candidate for whom you are voting. Madam Clerk.
I believe we're waiting for
Oh,
Counselor
we're waiting
Walsh
for,
to come
okay,
back in.
okay. Come on now.
Yeah.
Tough. Very good. Counselor Walsh, as before, you weren't here for the first round. The clerk calls your name, please state the name of the candidate for whom you are voting. Madam Clerk.
President Kushmerek,
Mr. Horgan.
Ms. LaBelle Pierce,
Kamatra Maxwell.
Ms. Reynolds is absent. Counselor Squalia,
Kamatra Maxwell.
Mr. Stevens,
Maxwell.
Counselor Walsh,
Mr. Horgan.
Counselor Zarella,
Eden Horgan.
Counselor Boschman,
Maxwell.
Counselor Clark,
Mr. Horgan.
Ms. Cragen,
Ms. Walsh.
Counselor Di Natale.
Aiden Horgan.
Mayor Di Natale.
Aiden Horgan.
Counselor Donley.
Ms. Walsh.
Counselor Fleming.
Aiden Horgan.
Counselor Green.
Mary Walsh.
Counselor Caddy.
Aiden Horgan.
We have 8 votes for Mr. Horgan, 4 from Ms. Maxwell, 3 from Mary Walsh. So Mary Walsh will be dropped from the next ballot.
Do I need to say anything?
No, I'll just
No,
start
okay.
again. Yep. So we have 2 remaining on the ballot. President Kushmerek,
Mr. Horgan.
Ms. LaBelle Pierce,
Kamatra Maxwell.
Ms. Reynolds is absent, Counselor Squalia,
Kamatra Maxwell.
Mr. Stevens,
Ms. Maxwell.
Counselor Walsh,
Aiden Horgan.
Counselor Zarella,
Aiden Horgan.
Counselor Boishman,
Ms. Maxwell.
Counselor Clark,
Mr. Horgan.
Ms. Cragan,
Ms. Maxwell.
Counselor Di Natale,
Horgan.
Mayor Di Natale,
Horgan.
Counselor Donley,
Ms. Maxwell.
Counselor Fleming,
Horgan.
Counselor Green,
Horgan.
Counselor Caddy,
Aiden Horgan.
Mr. Horgan wins with 9 votes.
The 2 new school committee members will now be sworn in by the city clerk.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me to take an oath. I do solemnly promise and swear
I do solemnly promise and swear
that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
and to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform and discharge all the duties
perform and discharge all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as school committee members
as school committee members
for the city of Fitchburg.
for the city of Fitchburg.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Look forward to working with you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.